You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. If you're into anime, if you are into nerd culture, and most importantly, if you are into video games, you come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is podcast episode number 405. It's going to be a short one today. No anime on the schedule. Didn't have time. Pretty busy these last couple of weeks. And I'm going to get into what I was doing. And hopefully next week I will do a show. If not, the next podcast will be 2 weeks from now. But it will definitely be anime to discuss. I'll be catching up on the remaining of Fire Force. There's a couple other anime that I've been trying to catch up to. And I'll definitely take care of that in the next few days. I'm off in the next few days. So I'm going to try to tackle some of those. And this goddamn Steam Deck, but I'll get to that in two shakes of a lamb's tail. But anyway, I want to talk about some Nintendo. I'm definitely going to talk about some Death Stranding a little bit and some Steam Deck. Okay, so let's dive right in, guys. I'm riding on fumes. I almost didn't do the show, but I was like, you know what? It's been 2 weeks, guys. I got to give you guys something. Okay. And so that's why I'm recording this right now. All right. I'm riding on fumes. I'm sitting here with Red Bull running through my veins. And, yeah, man, it's not a pretty sight, but you can blame, the Steam Deck for that. Let's talk about Nintendo first, though. I definitely want to talk about that. But before I even get into that, I want to go ahead and segue into this Death Stranding 2 information. Now, by the time you guys listen to this podcast, the reviews should be out. Some of you guys listening to it in the morning, it won't be, but by the end of the day, the reviews will be out. And I keep hearing a lot of different things about this game. I haven't even played the first one. I definitely want to try it. It's definitely on like a bucket list of things to do. It's a very weird, very strange game. And, you know, I've looked into it before when it first came out. And there's a lot of people who really love this game, but most look at it as just an obtuse work of art. But it is what it is, you know. Who knows? I could play it. I could fall in love with it. I don't know. I know one thing, that the first game was absolutely beautiful as far as the graphics. I mean, it was gorgeous. One of the best looking games that I've ever seen. You can compare it to Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. Games like that, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. Those are the games that really come to mind when I say, oh, breathtaking, beautiful, graphic design, all of that. This looks hyper realistic, and I don't think the second game is going to be any different. Now, I did hear people were talking about how the combat was a little sparse in the first game. Okay. And that rubbed some people the wrong way. And apparently in this game, that's going to change. Okay. The combat has definitely took a step up, apparently. And I guess they're going to show that. So looking forward to the reviews to see what people are talking about. There is a lot of hype around this game because, like I said before, it is a popular game because of the creator. And I understand all that. And this is just him, you know, with no handcuffs going crazy right now. So hopefully we see what happens and it gets good reviews. And it's definitely a game that, or a series, shall I say now, that anyone who has a PlayStation something should definitely eventually try this out. Okay. And that's kind of what I'm doing. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, at least right now, you know, no, because I have just a lot of stuff going on, but eventually it's there. It's in the back of my mind. Like, you know, what is the hype about? Because I'm one of those people who I wouldn't call myself obtuse as far as taste, but I definitely like a little bit of something, which sometimes might be an acquired taste, depending on how you look at it, certain games, things of that nature. So I don't know. It could resonate with me. I have to see, but that's that. That's the news on that. Okay, so just be looking forward to reviews. I'll definitely be talking about that stuff next time, next episode on the show. But I wanted to get that out of the way because that was just some light work, light news, whatever. But now I want to get into Nintendo because some time has passed. It's been out for a little bit. It's sold over 3.5 million copies, guys, right now. And if you're a Nintendo fan, you're probably happy. You probably, pointing your finger at a lot of the naysayers. I could be included in that group as one of the naysayers, but there still have been things that has been going on with this new system. Okay, don't get it twisted. All right. Now, when it comes to hardware with this system, there have been lots of reports of things happening with the battery. Apparently, the battery swelling in certain instances. Okay. And then there's been some things happening with the docking station. Okay. The docking station has been faulty on a lot of these that have been released into the wild, apparently. And somebody wrote an article. Okay. They were pissed. They wrote an article. They explained what happened to them, and they had just gotten a Switch. And for whatever reason, the docking station was not working. And they were very frustrated because apparently this person had waited 30 plus hours in line to get the Switch. Got the Switch, was so excited, you know what I mean? And gets home, hooks it up, and it's just not doing its thing. And so he was upset and saying, wow, now I just have to play this handheld. I can't dock it. I can't play it on a big screen. I can't do any of that. So he calls Nintendo, and Nintendo tells him that, well, we'll be happy to fix it for you for $180. So send us the system or send us that docking station, and for $180 we will repair it for you. And this set him over the top. This set him over the edge, and that basically encouraged him to write that article. But it just goes to show you, I mean, you got to read the fine print. And other people have been displaying what they've been going through, what they've been encountering, certain games that they've been playing, and it's been a glitch fest. Okay. A lot of the stuff has not been optimized, and it's not looking good for certain things, depending on what you're trying to play. Because on the other side of that, there have been people reporting lots of games that were on the Switch 1 that now run at 60 frames and a smooth 60 frames. Okay. So I'm not going to sit here and try to be one-sided here. I'm going to keep it real. And like I said, that's the good thing. There's a lot of games that, a lot of people didn't know about. So there's literally people out there right now just testing games. Okay. Testing Switch 1 games and seeing which ones have been, changed and which ones have not been. And there's been a lot of games that have had that 60 frames incorporated, and it's working well. So, I mean, it just depends on what kind of gamer you are, what kind of player you are. I'm not the type of player anymore to kind of go down this path that Nintendo's headed down. And I never was a guy that bought a system day one. I was never that guy. I was never going to be that guy. PlayStation 6 comes out. Guess what? I'm not getting it day one, most likely because there's not going to be any games to play. Okay. Or anything I want to play. So you have to supply and demand. You have to show me that, oh, this game is really intriguing or is something I really want to play. And the only way I can play it now is if I buy this system. Okay. And usually it's got to be more than one game. Now there are, some games that are just so amazing that are system sellers, but you got to at least give me that. And between Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, those two don't cut it for me. I'm not saying Donkey Kong isn't cool. It doesn't look nice because they had their recent direct with this Donkey Kong game and it looked good. I mean, there was a lot of things. They had, a lot of different systems in here. That was pretty cool. Okay. I'm not going to lie. They had an upgrade system in here that you could kind of go down, and they had stuff with cosmetics you could change and all of these type of things, right? True open world type of experience, and if you're a Donkey Kong fan, you're going to eat this up. Most likely you're going to eat it up. And this game, in my opinion, should have been the system seller. This game should have came out day one as opposed to Mario Kart. Mario Kart is one of those games that has been around so long, in my opinion, that most people, or the average gamer who knows about Mario Kart, isn't looking at that like, wow, it's Mario Kart. Okay. But the people who are Mario Kart fans, even them, they're getting a chance to play it. And a few days later, guys, they've done everything. There's nothing else to do. And it gets old quick. In my opinion, that game is just not worth $80. It's just not. And for a lot of people who are out here and didn't get a chance to get the bundle, they're feeling that. They're really feeling it. Okay. And it's just, like I said, it's Nintendo doing the same thing, selling you that nostalgia, trying to, undercut you. And it never used to be this way. Nintendo didn't always be this way. Okay. I got a video on my channel now that I kind of break down some of this stuff. And there's some good YouTubers out here dropping dimes out here on Nintendo. Okay. I forgot her name, her female. I think her channel is like the background NPC or something like that. Pretty dope name. But yeah, Google her, look her up. She's got a nice video out about Nintendo and how she was a diehard Nintendo fan, Super Nintendo fan, had all the stuff, bought every console day one, did all those things. She's, not just talking shit. And I don't feel that I am either, guys. I mean, I'm sitting here right now in the man cave looking at my couch and I have a Nintendo blanket draped over that motherfucker. Okay. I have countless Nintendo products, hardware here. I have a Nintendo 64. I have a Nintendo DS, a 3DS, guys. Okay. I'm not sitting here, talking shit for clicks like some of these guys are out here doing. I'm actually a gamer who was passionate about Nintendo and what they brought to the table. You know what I mean? And it's just sad to see where they're headed now. Okay. When they started hiring certain individuals, the tide began to turn. And that's just the nature of the beast, I guess. Okay. Nothing lasts forever, I suppose. But it's sad and it's a damn shame to me personally. And I just can't partake in those activities. I was never going to most likely buy the Switch one day one anyway. But now I'm quite sure that it won't be a year. It'll probably be 2 and maybe 3 before I even consider picking that thing up. Right. And one of the advantages of waiting is being able to sit back and watch everything unfold. Because like I said, there have been instances, there have been issues with this system. Okay. And I'm not even talking about how they run their business now, their business model, which is piss poor to say the least. I'm talking about just strictly hardware, what they plan to do with it. Okay. Because let's segue into it now. The third party situation with Nintendo is pretty lackluster. Okay. Everybody's talking about it. There's plenty of things out there you can go right now and watch about what's going on with Nintendo and their third party game plan. Okay. And most people knew it. Well, at least I did. I've talked about it many occasions. Guys, nobody wants to buy a fake cartridge. Okay. Nobody wants to buy that, especially the diehard Nintendo fans. I keep telling people that is what Nintendo is or was good at. That was part of their appeal, the physical cartridges in general. Like nobody else does cartridges anymore but Nintendo. And that was special. And now they're cutting everybody off at the knees. Okay. First party only. And we all know that Nintendo is not dropping any prices on those. You're going to pay $80, $90 for those until the wheels fall off. All right. There's games out there now for the Switch 1. Came out 2017. Still full price. I'm just keeping it real. And that's a problem. Especially now they're rolling out these fucking empty ass cartridges and nobody wants them. And on top of that, if you play multiple consoles, like at least half of the community in gaming, you have other games or you have those that they're coming out with on the Switch 2 and they're better versions. Okay. And cheaper. You can go get those for half the price. Some even less than that. And now Nintendo is regurgitating these things and selling them for $80, guys. $70, $80. So you tell me, how does that look? Now it's starting to turn around and bite them in the ass. And it's still early, very early in the life cycle. I'd be super early. And this is not a good look. This is not going to end well if they don't change something here. Okay. They're going to have to go back into the drawing board. They're going to have to figure out a way to get these cartridges like they did with the Switch 1 and make it available to other publishers and other companies, guys. They're going to have to do it. They're killing themselves with that 64 gigabyte cartridge only. One size fits all. It's not going to work. There are so many games that are going to come out on the Switch that are going to probably, be awesome games. They're going to be a lot of awesome indie titles. One of my favorite things in video games as of late in the last 10 years or so. And people are going to want these games for themselves. They're going to want these on a cartridge. They're going to want a nice cover. They're going to want these type of things. That's the special thing about Nintendo with the Switch 1 for me personally. You know what I mean? River City Girls, I got River City Girls 1 and 2 on the cartridge. Bought it off of, I think, Play Asia, but it's all on the cart. Okay? All on the cart, and the cover's awesome. It's reversible. It's awesome. And that's the cool thing about that. So for me personally, I'm just going to continue to shop for Switch 1 games, ones that are still on my list to find eventually. I'll eventually, buy those here and there. And then if I decide to get a Switch later when it's piss poor cheap, then I'll do that, and then I can play everything on that. But that'll be years from now. And hopefully they change their tune, because like I said, if they don't, on the third party market, it's going to be quite egregious. It's not going to end well. Okay. It's not. Now you might get some of these suckers out here to buy these, but that's only if they only play Nintendo. Okay. Now, if you're out here and all you play is Nintendo, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Get what you can, but why pay all that money for a fake cartridge? You might as well just download it. You might as well just go digital all the way and download it. It makes no sense. I'm just saying. And let me just go ahead and segue into the last, I guess, lecture at hand. And I'm going to talk about the Steam Deck. And that's what made me go buy a Steam Deck, because I had to measure some things up. I had to really look at it from someone who, doesn't have a lot of money to spend. But if I'm going to spend my money, it's got to be smart. And it's got to, I guess, cater to me in the long run. When I buy things, guys, I don't buy it for the now. I try to look at it for, what is this thing going to do in the foreseeable future for me? What kind of worth is it going to bring to the table for me? And the Switch just lost every time, because there's no way that you can justify, well, at least I cannot justify spending $500 after taxes on a machine with literally a couple of games. Cyberpunk, I already have. PS5, better. Donkey Kong's not even out yet. And I'm not going to say hate. I don't like Mario Kart. I'm just keeping it real. It makes no sense for that. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? So if I just bought the system, that's $500, nothing else. And then I had to buy a game too, $80. That's almost $600, man. For a game I don't even like? Come on. It makes no sense. And then when I buy Donkey Kong, let's say I buy Donkey Kong, then what? We're still waiting. Oh yeah, well, you can play all your old games and run everything, upgraded. Okay, but that's not enough for me. It's not enough for me. Usually when you buy a new system, you want new games. You want new things. And it's not doing it for me, Nintendo. So I looked at the Steam Deck, and I looked at it for months. Please don't get it twisted. This is not a decision that I just made lightly. Okay. Anytime I'm spending over a couple $100, guys, I'm really focused. And I said, man, Steam Deck costs about the same, have different models, plays PC games. You can use it as a streaming device as well. You can treat it like a Switch if you like. You can go handheld, or you can go big screen. Customization is crazy. I've looked into all these things. I've watched hours of videos. I didn't know anything about PC gaming. Okay. I'm just now getting into PC gaming, and you can add that to the list as well. Something new, exploring something new. Finally trying to dip your toe into the PC gaming world, seeing how that thing works, the community, how they are, all those things, discovering that. And it was a joy to discover. It was a joy to learn how all that stuff works. Okay. How you get access to so many demos. They're the king of demos. Early access games as well. So you get a chance to try a lot of games that some may never come out, but some will eventually come out, and some get better with updates and here, there. And that's a cool thing. And so that's what I'm exploring now. And that's why I decided to make that decision. Now, please do not get it twisted, because I have been struggling the last couple of days. I have a horror story, a Steam Deck horror story for you. Okay, because I went to order a Steam Deck. I went and bought it off eBay. Okay. I bought it on the 20th. So roughly 12 days ago. But something happened that never happened to me before on eBay. The guy, whoever was selling to me, he never shipped it. He never fucking shipped the system. Okay. Usually when you place an order on eBay, it may take a day, maybe 2, at the most 3. And on that 3rd day, usually you look at the app and it'll tell you, hey, oh, this item has been shipped. Here's the tracking number. So you can eventually now track the item. It's never happened before. So 5 days pass, 6 days pass, no tracking number. It's just still sitting there. So I message the guy. So on eBay, if you're not familiar with it, you can message the seller and they can message you and you can say, hey, can you give me ETA? You know, how long is it going to be? Are you going to ship it anytime soon? Whatever. And they usually answer you back because, most people who are eBay sellers, they have eBay on their phones. It's an app, easily accessible. I sell things from time to time on eBay. And so, when I get a message, you get it instantly like a text message. Boom. They want to know what's going on. No response, nothing. I think I hit him up every day for like 4 days straight and no fucking response. Nothing. Every time I look at eBay, it's just still sitting there, never shipped, still not shipped. I'm like, what the fuck? This has never happened before. And I've bought so many things on eBay. I sing eBay's praises all the time. When you want to buy certain things, they are a walking lick. And for whatever reason, it's just wasn't happening. So I said, you know what? I don't even know why I went to eBay on this. I should have went to Amazon, checked out Amazon. So I checked on Amazon. And yes, they're a little overpriced. So is eBay because they got to make a profit. And right now, Steam Decks are in high demand. They're sold out pretty much on the website. So they're hard to get right now. And, I got one delivered. I think it took 2 days. It was here at the door. So I'm just saying that it was a nightmare for me. And I still got to deal with these people. So tomorrow I'm supposed to be calling them and canceling it or whatever. But it's just, a bunch of trash on that aspect. But we weren't done there because when I got the Steam Deck, I didn't realize that the shit that goes into this. Okay. And what I mean by that is, guys, if you're thinking about getting a Steam Deck and you don't have one, I will tell you this. The learning curve is crazy. All right. It's definitely a technical hurdle. Okay. And you're going to have some technical chops. You're going to be looking at a lot of eBay videos, not eBay, a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of forums and shit like that. I started the Steam Deck and it wouldn't update. I was like, what the fuck? I tried all night the other night. I stayed up till like 6, almost 7 in the morning. I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. Come to find out, all I had to do was go in there, put it in desktop mode, go in to do a couple other things and change the date and time. And then reboot it, and then boom, it worked. Who would have known that is what I'm saying. And then, I wanted to put a lot of my retro games on there. And I literally stayed up till I got off work today at like 6:30, came home. As soon as I came home, I jumped on it. I said, okay, I'm going to get these retro games on my shit. For whatever reason, it's not working. Okay. These files, I need, certain files and shit, which work everywhere else. Works perfectly on my Retroid Pocket or my PC or laptop, my PC laptop or whatever. Fine. Perfectly. For whatever reason, the Steam Deck, it's just not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I don't know if it's because it's Linux. I don't know, but I just said, you know what? I wasted so much time on that. I should have just kept it how I kept it in the beginning. The whole reason why I bought a Steam Deck is not to actually play retro games on there. I wanted to do that because it was kind of cool. And I really just wanted PlayStation 2 games. Everything else, all my retro stuff is on my Retroid Pocket. Everything else I usually play there. And maybe some, GameCube and some Wii games because they don't play all of every Wii game and every GameCube game on my Retroid Pocket. Most of them they do. I say more than half. But I said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to keep my Retroid Pocket 3 Plus for the majority of my retro games, Game Boy Advanced, Nintendo 64, all of those type of things, Dreamcast, all of that stuff, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, I'll just play on dev mode on my Xbox Series S And in all of my indie games and other stuff that I can't play anywhere else, which is why I got a Steam Deck, is what I'll play over there. So I downloaded a whole bunch of demos, which I haven't played yet because I wasted all this time dealing with this fucking retro shit. So now that that's done, I can get to the meat and potatoes and I can start playing games that I have. I was playing Resident Evil Revelations not too long ago. Felt good to, boot that up. And then I have a shit ton of demos that I downloaded today, right before I jumped on this podcast. And I cannot wait to dive in there and test those out. And then there's a couple other games on my wish list that I have been looking at and some cool beat 'em ups and stuff. And, ready to jump in there, try to find some stuff for me and my son to play. We've been playing lately. What have we been playing? We've been playing, the game we playing the most was Dragon Ball Fighters, believe it or not. You've been wanting to play that. And then we also been playing My Hero Academia, the second one, which is a dope game, which is really fun. And I'm going to surprise him because I'm just feeling like I'm in a Demon Slayer type of mood. So I'm going to download that on the PS5 and jump in there on that Demon Slayer too. So yeah. And then he wants to play some Ninja Storm as well. So he's been begging for Ninja Storm because he's pretty good at it. I'm not going to lie. So we might be anime playing our asses off the next day or so. So he's in the room right now playing Xbox because it's summer. He's enjoying the summer. And I had to go in there and tell him, hey, man, I need you to keep it down. I'm about to come in here and record. So do your thing. He's been eating pizza all fucking day and playing Xbox. Okay. So that's what kids do. They enjoy their summers and I love to see it. But you also gotta keep it down. Okay. So I can record. But anyway, that's that. But back to the Steam Deck. Yeah, man, it was a nightmare. The first 48 hours with this thing, man, because I'm so used to plugging and playing. I'm so used to whatever. And, the cost of being able to, have the Steam Deck and it being so customizable and stuff like that is that you have to go in there under the hood and do shit, for a lot of this stuff. So that's just what it is. So I have to get accustomed to that. And that's part of the PC, universe. Okay. That's how that works. So if I'm going to segue into PC gaming as well, these are the things that you have to kind of contest with, I guess. So I'm accepting that because I want to play a lot of games that, that I can't play anywhere else. And I've got a lot of cool games too. A lot of them. So I'm really excited to play some of these. And I've bought a few games that were on sale and, I'm going to explore that for a minute. So the cool thing about the Steam Deck, I think it's going to be a system where I can take downstairs on the 70-inch, boom, put it down there whenever nobody's down there and play and then bring it up here and just move that dock around, whatever. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be one of those type of game systems for me. Looking forward to it. Really looking forward to the customization because there's a lot you can do with the way you run this customization on here, whether you're talking about GIF backgrounds or animated backgrounds or just even the whole operating system cosmetically you can change up, which is, exciting to do. You know what I mean? So yeah, I haven't even got a screensaver. I was looking at some Rengoku screensavers before I recorded. And I don't know where I'm going to go with. I don't know. Punisher. There's a bunch of different stuff because I have all of my favorite characters, I usually have them somewhere. I have multiple computers, laptops or whatever. So I have, Kakashi and Obito going at it on one of them, my main one that I use. And then on my other one, I have, I think some Dragon Ball shit, with all the Dragon Ball members chilling. And then on my other computer, I got something else and then so on and so on. So I'm like, you know what? I think my iPad I have, who do I got on my iPad? God damn it. I got somebody on there. I want to say I have somebody else from Demon Slayer on there. I want to say, yeah, I'm spreading the love. You know what I mean? So try to change it up per device, phone, same thing, something different on the phone. So you don't want to keep everything, the same. So, but yeah, anyway, looking forward to doing that on the Steam Deck. I'm not going to get too intricate with that, but my main thing is, look, I need to, stay grounded with this thing and just focus on the games. So now I've been watching lots of YouTube videos now where they talk about Steam sales and, hey, these games are on sale right now and whatever. The cool thing about Steam is the sales are ridiculous. Okay. And there's a lot of sales, man, all the time. And I'm talking about dirt cheap, $5 games. I bought a couple games for $2. I saw a game on there for 54 cents. I saw some games on there that they were actually giving away for free. Yeah. And they do that. So I think they gave away like Borderlands 2 for free, and they do stuff like that. Free game giveaways. What game did I get for free just recently downloaded? Bleach game. Yeah, it's an older Bleach game that I downloaded. So I'm going to see what that's about. There's a lot of free games out here. So that I'm finding out with Steam. So they give away shit. Okay. So yeah, man, looking forward to just really getting into this world universe. Like I said, I'm very, very early and I'm still wet behind the ears. I mean, for 2 days, that's nothing. So I have, the next few days off. I'll definitely be, just exploring that. That thing is going to be close to me pretty much wherever I go. And, yeah, man, that mouse and keyboard though thing is real with the Steam Deck though. I've been using my wife's mouse, wireless mouse and stuff, and it's been a game changer as opposed to just going on the screen and doing it because it's so small. You're on that small screen or whatever, but don't get it twisted. It is a PC of sorts. So yeah, it's better to navigate around with that. So yeah, man, I got everything for it. I made sure I was ready for it. I got a docking station for it. I got a case for it. I got a screen protector for it. And yeah, man, I made sure I had all of that. So I guess the last thing for me is like a keyboard, like a miniature keyboard, wireless keyboard, maybe, something like that. So yeah, I'm here for it. And I'll definitely give you guys an update as time progresses on this thing and figure out how everything works, like screen recording and stuff. I'll be trying to post and get that down packed. And yeah, man, it's just, it's going to be something that you're going to have to kind of just walk slow with. I'm seeing this now, you can't get it all done in one night because it killed me. Like I literally had a nap last night. Okay. Went to bed at like 7:30 in the morning, went to work at 1:00, got off at 6 today and just been riding on fumes. And the night before that was an all nighter as well. So yeah, Red Bull is definitely here. My last Red Bull. So after that, and then tomorrow I got to get up early with my daughter. So you know what I'm saying? And deal with her and her needs and stuff like that. So that's just how it goes. But she starts school this coming up school year. So they'll both be in school. And then I will have nights and mornings to chill. So there'll be more content. Definitely. I'll be able to get more done and just, my time will be a little bit more free during the school year. Of course, summer, completely different, but something to look forward to in essence. And, things are always changing and hopefully for you guys, things are always getting better. Okay. That's going to do it for today's show. Like I said, guys, it was a small one, short one. But I definitely wanted to, let you guys in on what I was doing, what's been going on. And if you are a Steam player, if you are a PC gamer, guys, any recommendations, would be cool for me. There's thousands and thousands upon thousands of games here, and I know I'm missing a lot of them. So if you have any beat 'em ups that you recommend, please let me know. If you have any single player, action RPGs, something like that, let me know. Looking forward to those type of games. Any fighting games, let me know. Let me know. I'm very interested to find out what's out there. And just any cool, games that just are kind of out of the way. You know what I mean? Just really cool developers. I like, tower defense games and stuff like that too, getting into those. So yeah, any cool recommendations that I should try. One game right now that I hear everybody talking about before I get out of here is called Schedule 1. Okay. My boy has already called me about it. He's having a baby soon. I think, first week of July, having a second child. So he was like, yo, I'm going to be in the hospital and I'm gonna have my laptop up there, man. And, we need to play this game called Schedule 1. You need to look into it. And I looked into it. I said, oh shit. Okay. Trying to start an empire, one pack at a time. That sounds cool. So there's a demo. I downloaded it. So I'm going to check that out the next couple of days, see what that's about. The game, I think, is $20. It's only $20. So yeah, man, I'll probably be buying that in the next couple of weeks. So yeah. And it's multiplayer. I didn't even know that. So that's why he wanted me to buy it. So yeah, going to be looking at that. He's been playing Dune from the movie. They got a game out now. He's been playing that. and that's not coming out for consoles for a while. So there are advantages to having, a Steam library and being able to access those and play those too. So like I said, guys, I'm a gamer at the end of the day. I play video games. Okay. And I don't care what it's on. If it's good, I want some. Okay. So I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on any platform. All right. And now I guess PC is that platform. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for downloading, streaming the podcast. I love you guys so much. All my OG listeners, man. If you're new to the podcast, guys, I hope you come back. We do this usually do it every Monday, but as of late, I've been doing 2 a month as opposed to 4 a month, and it'll change up, depending on what's going on out there with the gaming news and things of that nature, or if something happens on my end. But yeah, man, it's definitely something that continues. 400 episodes plus. So we're here. I'm not going anywhere, and I will see you guys in the next show, guys. I love you guys. For the last time, I'm out. This is your boy Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.